Now the full number of those who believed were of one heart and soul. And no one said that any of the things that belonged to him was his own, but they had everything in common.
Now the full number of those who believed were of one heart and soul.
Now the full number of those who believed were of one heart and soul.
But they had
And no one said that any of the things that belonged to him was his own. But they had
And no one said that any of the things that belonged to him was his own. But they had everything in common. Welcome. That was a canon called One Heart and Soul, and it's a 3-part setting of Acts chapter 4, verse 32. We're going to teach it to you phrase by phrase. I'm here with my friends Willow and Miciah, and I'll sing each phrase once, and you repeat it after me, and then we'll piece it back together and see if we can sing it in canon at the end. So right from the beginning, it sounds like this. First phrase. Now the full number of those who believed were of one heart and soul.
Now the full number of those who believed were of one heart and soul.
Second phrase. And no one said that any of the things that belonged to him was his own.
And no one said that any of the things that belonged to him was his own.
Okay, and there are a lot of syllables in there, but you can obviously listen to it as many times as you need to. Before we move on to phrase 3, we'll repeat phrases 1 and 2 together. That sounds like this. Now
the full number of those who believed were of one heart and soul. And no one said that any of the things that belonged to him was his own.
Okay, going on into the third phrase, sounds like this. But they had everything in common.
But they had everything in common.
Okay, so that's the whole thing. We'll put it back together and sing the whole canon twice in unison, 2 times through, and then we'll put it back and see what happens in 3-part canon. So, from the beginning, phrase 1.
Now the full number of those who believed were of one heart and soul. And no one said that any of the things that belonged to him was his own, but they had everything in common. Now the full number of those who believed were of one heart and soul. And no one said that any of the things that belonged to him was his own, but they had everything in common.
And that's the whole thing. So obviously repeat each of those phrases as many times as you need to, sing it in unison as many times as you need to, and then you could always just join up with us at this part of the video again, but we're going to go 2 more times through in a 3-part canon. Willow will start, Kyle will come in second, I'll come in third, and you could sing with any of us, or you could split up and go into different groups, depending on how big the group you're singing with is. So twice through.
Now the full number of those who believed were of one
Now the full number of those who believed were of one heart and soul.
But they had
And no one said that any of the things that belonged to him was his own. But they had no one said that any of the things that belonged to him was his own.
But they had
Now the full number of those who believed were of one heart and soul.
But they had
And no one said that any of the things that belonged to him was his own. But they had
And no one said that any of the
everything
things that
in
belonged to him was
in
his own.
common.
But they had everything in common, in common. And that's the canon. Thanks for singing with us, and I hope you'll join us again for another sometime.